Scorpio, listen closely, because the fact that you found this message right now is already part of the sign. Not because you're lucky, not because you clicked at the perfect second, but because something inside you has been quietly waking up, and it's been pulling you toward a different life. The one you keep imagining when the room goes silent. The one you don't even talk about out loud because you've been taught that wanting more is dangerous. But your soul doesn't speak the language of fear. Your soul speaks the language of timing. And right now, your timing is shifting. If you've been feeling restless, emotional for no clear reason, or like you're standing at the edge of a new chapter but can't see the pages yet, this is for you. Scorpio, your millionaire energy is activating. And no, I don't mean random money falling from the sky. I mean the kind of inner switch that flips when you finally stop negotiating with your worth, and the universe finally has space to deliver what it's been trying to bring you all along. This is not a typical reading. This is a soul transmission, a quiet, sacred reminder that your dream life is not far away. It is approaching the way dawn approaches, slowly, inevitably, and then all at once. Scorpio, you are not here by accident. You were led here, and I want to ask you something gently but directly. Have you been noticing signs lately? Repeating numbers, unusual coincidences, dreams that feel like messages, a song that keeps showing up at the exact moment your heart feels heavy, a name you haven't heard in years suddenly appearing everywhere? That's not you overthinking. That's your intuition waking up. And when Scorpio's intuition wakes up, life changes, because you stop chasing what's not meant for you and you start attracting what is. In the next few minutes, I'm going to guide you through a sequence of energies that are rising around you right now. Wealth energy, love energy, and a deeper kind of abundance that most people miss. The kind that heals your nervous system, restores your hope, and makes you feel safe again. And yes, you're going to feel emotional, but these aren't the tears of defeat. These are the tears of truth. The tears that come when you realize you're not cursed, you're not late, and you were never too much. You were simply being prepared. Scorpio, you are the sign of transformation. You don't just get what you want. You become who you need to be in order to hold it. And that is why your blessings don't look like everybody else's. Yours come with depth, with meaning, with a story that makes the reward feel holy. So take one slow breath, let your shoulders drop, and if your spirit is already nodding, even just slightly, anchor that energy. Go to the comments and type, "I receive with peace," not as a demand, not as a guarantee, as a declaration of readiness. When you participate, you're telling your subconscious, I'm not just watching another video, I'm choosing a new timeline. And before we go deeper, let me thank you for being here. Every like, every comment, every subscription, those are not small things. They keep this sacred space alive. They help this message reach the Scorpio who is praying in silence for a sign that their life can still change. So thank you for being part of the circle. Now stay with me, because the shift you've been waiting for doesn't begin with money. It begins with you. Scorpio, your millionaire energy activates the moment you release one belief: that you must suffer to deserve, that you must struggle to be worthy, that you must prove your value through exhaustion. This is the old program. This is the survival script. And you've been living it for so long that peace might feel unfamiliar, like an empty room. But peace isn't emptiness. Peace is space. Space for new opportunities, space for better decisions, space for the universe to deliver without you panicking and pushing it away the moment it arrives. Right now, the sky is speaking in a gentle but powerful language. I'm not here to trap you in dates or scare you with only 24 hours left. That's not the vibe. The real message is simpler. The next few days carry a supportive alignment for Scorpio energy, an opening where your sense of value, love, and long-term stability can be recalibrated. Think of it like this. Venus, the planet tied to value, attraction, and the way we receive, is moving in a way that supports Jupiter, the planet linked to growth and expansion. And when Venus and Jupiter cooperate, the universe often brings increase through things that feel aligned, not forced. A conversation that becomes an opportunity. A decision you finally make because you're tired of settling. A door that opens because you stopped begging at the wrong one. And Scorpio, you are ruled by Pluto, the force of rebirth. Pluto doesn't hand you comfort first. Pluto hands you truth. And truth is what makes you rich in the way that matters. You stop leaking energy into what cannot return it. So here's what your millionaire energy really is. It's your ability to become unmanipulatable. It's your ability to stop accepting crumbs. It's your ability to say, if it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. And the moment you embody that, abundance starts behaving differently around you, because abundance is not only money. Abundance is access. Abundance is clarity. Abundance is being in the right room at the right time with the right mindset and the right boundaries. And Scorpio, your boundaries are part of your blessing. They don't block love. They filter it. They don't block money. They protect it. Now let's talk about what's been hidden, because this is the Scorpio zone. You've been carrying silent burdens, financial weight, emotional weight, responsibilities you never asked for, but somehow ended up holding. You've been the strong one, the dependable one, the one who always figures it out. And people don't realize how lonely that is. When you're the one who never breaks, nobody notices your bending. But the universe noticed. Your spirit noticed. And if you felt unseen, if you felt like you give more than you receive, this message is here to correct the spiritual ledger. Not through revenge, through alignment. In this energy, 3 themes rise for Scorpio. Truth, release, and recognition. Truth is the moment you stop lying to yourself about what's draining you. Release is the moment you stop holding what was never yours to carry. Recognition is what arrives when you stop hiding. And no, recognition isn't always applause. Sometimes it's a private win, a sudden payment you didn't expect, a yes after a long silence, a person finally seeing your value because you stopped explaining it to them and started living it. If you want a symbolic snapshot of this energy, imagine 3 archetypes standing in a line. The first is the star, renewal after exhaustion, hope returning to a heart that has been tired for too long. The second is the Ace of Pentacles, an opening in the material world, a new seed, a new offer, a new chance to build something stable. The third is the Lovers, not just romance, but choice. A crossroads where you decide what you will tolerate, what you will invest in, and what you will stop feeding with your energy. Scorpio, your wealth is linked to your choices. Your abundance rises when your standards rise. And your standards rise when you finally believe you're allowed to be loved well, paid well, and treated well. Now let's get practical, but still sacred. Because Scorpio, you don't need fluff. You need something you can feel and use. Over the next 72 hours, pay attention to 3 kinds of messages. 1. Unexpected invitations. Someone asks you to join something, to apply, to collaborate, to show up. 2. Sudden clarity. You wake up and you just know what you need to do. The confusion dissolves. 3. Emotional waves that feel like goodbye and hello at the same time. That's your old timeline loosening its grip. That's your spirit making room. And I want to say this lovingly. You don't have to chase your miracle. You only have to stop blocking it. Some blessings arrive quietly and you miss them because you're waiting for thunder. Some opportunities look small at first and you ignore them because you wanted a dramatic rescue. But Scorpio, your life isn't a movie scene. It's a garden. And gardens grow through consistent steps. So if a door opens and it feels aligned, walk through it. If a person shows up and they feel safe, don't sabotage it out of habit. If an idea returns to you again and again, don't call it crazy. Call it a calling. Now let's talk about love, because wealth without love can still feel empty, and love without self-worth can still feel like a cage. The universe isn't only lifting your financial energy, it's lifting your relational standards. Some of you have been loving people who only love you when you're convenient. Some of you have been attracting partners who mirror your old survival patterns, inconsistency, emotional unavailability, power games, silence as punishment. And Scorpio, you know the truth already. You've just been trying to be loyal to what keeps hurting you because loyalty feels like identity. But the lover's energy asks you a different question. Will you choose what you desire, or will you keep choosing what you're used to? A new kind of love is possible for you. Not the love that makes you anxious, the love that makes you exhale, the love that doesn't test you every week, the love that doesn't punish you for having needs. And that love begins with the way you treat yourself in private. It begins when you stop abandoning yourself to keep somebody else comfortable. It begins when you stop shrinking your voice to keep the peace. Scorpio, peace that requires your silence is not peace. It's captivity with pretty words. If you've been in a season of numbness where you told yourself you don't care anymore, let me gently translate that. You've been protecting your heart because you were tired of bleeding. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. But now, your heart is ready to open in a different way. Not wide open with no boundaries, open with discernment, open with standards, open with the kind of softness that is protected by clarity. And yes, abundance is pouring in, but not like a flood that knocks you over, like a river that finally finds its channel. Scorpio, your channel is your discipline, your integrity, your ability to commit to a vision even when your mood changes, your ability to keep building even when nobody claps. That's why you're different. That's why your wealth will be stable. Because you don't just want money, you want freedom, you want legacy. You want to change the story for your family, your future, your lineage. And that is a holy desire. So here are your activation steps, not as rules, but as a rhythm. First, choose one sentence that becomes your daily identity. Something like, I am safe to receive, or I am worthy of overflow. Say it in the morning before you touch your phone. Second, take one physical action that matches your future. Apply for the thing. Post the offer. Make the call. Clean the space. Organize your money. Third, release one attachment that drains you, a habit, a person, a belief, even a story you tell yourself. Scorpio, your millionaire energy is not only what you attract, it's what you refuse. You refuse scarcity thinking. You refuse chaos love. You refuse the false comfort of familiar pain. Make the call. Clean the space. Organize your money. Third, release one attachment that drains you, a habit, a person, a belief, even a story you tell yourself. Scorpio, your millionaire energy is not only what you attract, it's what you refuse. You refuse scarcity thinking. You refuse chaos love. You refuse the false comfort of familiar pain. And because your mind loves symbols, the universe will often speak in symbols. If you keep seeing repeating numbers, treat them like a pause button. Every time you see them, stop for 3 seconds. Breathe. Ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Is it aligned with my future? That's it. That's the ritual. You don't need complicated ceremonies to be powerful. Your awareness is the altar. Your choice is the spell. Now, Scorpio, let's talk about the real reason you might cry, because it's not just money coming. It's the moment you realize you didn't need to suffer that long to be worthy. It's the moment you realize you were always lovable, always valuable, always chosen. And life simply needed you to believe it so it could deliver consistently. The tears come when you recognize your own strength, when you see how many times you kept going with no guarantee, when you realize that the universe wasn't ignoring you, it was shaping you into someone who can hold what's coming without losing themselves. And right near the end of this message, I want to place a gentle protective truth into your hands, softly, like a feather, not like a rule. This story is a mirror, Scorpio, a reflection of one possible timeline, whispered into the universe for the souls meant to hear it. Let what resonates strengthen you, and let what doesn't pass through like wind through trees. This isn't a contract with fate, and it's not a substitute for your real-world choices, planning, and wisdom. It's an invitation to step into a higher version of yourself, to notice the signs without becoming trapped by them, and to use this message as fuel, not fear. If anything here inspires you, let it guide you toward grounded action and deeper self-trust. If it doesn't, let it go with peace. Not every message is for every moment, and your power has never depended on a video. It has always lived in you. So here's what I want you to do now. If you've stayed with me this far, you're not just watching, you're ready. You're opening, you're remembering. Go to the comments and write, "I choose my new timeline." Then, right after that, write one word. Wealth or love, the one you're ready to receive without guilt. This creates engagement, yes, but more importantly, it creates clarity. It tells your subconscious, this is real, this is chosen. And Scorpio, chosen is powerful. If this message touched something tender inside you, like the video, subscribe and share it with another Scorpio who needs hope without hype. We're not here to sell fantasies. We're here to build faith, rebuild worth, and remind you of what you've always been, a force of transformation. And the universe doesn't give transformation to the weak. It gives it to the brave, to the ones who can hold truth, to the ones who can rise without becoming bitter, to the ones who can receive without becoming arrogant. That's you. Scorpio, your millionaire energy is activating, not because you wished hard enough, but because you're finally becoming congruent with what you desire. Your worth is rising, your standards are rising, your vision is rising, and when you rise, life rises to meet you. Love will pour in where you no longer accept half love. Abundance will pour in where you no longer accept half living. You don't need to force your miracle. You only need to keep choosing the version of you who believes they deserve it. And Scorpio, you do. You always did.